Oh, hey, what the hell? All right. What it do, ladies and gentlemen? We are live. And everybody knows they're live. You can see me tweeting on there. But I'm going to give you something nice to look at while we go through these commercials that nobody wants to hear. So, all right, kicking off bad decisions here with some sponsors. Nature Box, of course. If you haven't eaten any Nature Box, I'm not going to say you have an issue, but you have an issue. So get yourself some healthy snacks or healthier for you snacks and that damn Twinkies that you've been eating. Definitely get off those crappy snacks. Go to CrossBonesMMA.com, click on the Nature Box banner, get yourself some nice, delicious, healthy snacks. Also, we're brought to you by F3 Foods. If you try to lose weight, nutrition is possibly the biggest part of that. Also, getting off your ass and actually doing some workouts. But of course, Nature Box helps too, actually, but F3 Foods will help you with your meals. Go to the getfitprogram.com, use the code word CrossBones, that's CROSSBONES at checkout for a discount. And of course, Truxafin, get your testosterone up, get some lean muscle, get your boners up. If you have a lady, she'll definitely appreciate this. Of course, if you're married and she uses it as a reward for, doing what you're supposed to do, then you have more issues than just not being able to get a boner. So absolutely get some Truxafin. Give yourself a boost on that edge. Also, build lean muscle. Get yourself right in the gym. Go to CrossBonesMMA.com and click on the banner in the store and affiliates page to get yourself some Truxafin. Also, Amazon. If you go to CrossBonesMMA.com, you can see the little Amazon box. Of course, it's a regular stuff. If you do any shopping on Amazon, if you go through that box, it helps us out. It is literally no extra effort from you, no extra money from you. It's just going to CrossBonesMMA.com and buying through that box. So if you do that, that would be awesome. So without further ado, let's start the show. And welcome to Bad Decisions with Eddie Law. Now on Monday nights. It's been on Monday nights for a little bit. This is a late night MMA talk show hosted by yours truly, Eddie Law. And we get to all the important MMA issues, of course, today. Of course, it's an interactive show, so make sure to hit me up on Twitter at CrossBonesMMA or myself directly at ELAW31. You can use the hashtag Bad Decisions if you feel like it. Or if you feel inclined to do so, email me, Eddie at CrossBonesMMA.com. Hell, maybe we can bring in a show at some point. If you have hangouts, I love to bring guests on, especially get some new perspectives. It would be great. So that's going to do it for all the announcements. So without further ado, again, start the show. So if you see me right here, okay, so, and I know I do talk to a lot of you on Twitter, and it does, what was I going to say? We've been talking about a lot about like my allergies, right? So my allergies actually were way better today. And then I'm training for the Super Spartan race in Las Vegas, which goes down April 18th. Super Spartan's about 8 and change miles and about 20 over 20 obstacles. Actually, you can see my shirt from the 2013 race, the regular race. I did 2014 as well in February. And so I'm training for it again. And, my cardio is good, but I just keep working on it. So I went ahead and ran a 5K-ish. That was at 3.1 miles. Wearing a nose strip, of course, so I could breathe through my busted-ass nose, which, by the way, I broke in training years ago. I just never got fixed, which is an issue. So I ran in it. Of course, it's springtime in Arizona. All the people from Ohio brought their freaking plants with them, and I can't breathe. So allergies started kicking my ass literally maybe 30 minutes ago again. But because I'm on all kinds of allergy meds, it's not horrible. So we're okay, and we can do some of the show here. Again, you can see right here, under here. Yeah, we got this little friendly bar now. We're using it on 5 rounds, using it on Bad Decisions today. You can use Bad Decisions, the hashtag, if you want to. It's whatever. You just hit me up at ELAW31 if you have any questions or want to talk about anything. So let's get to the important issues, of course. Kick off the show. Let's talk some World Series of Fighting. Of course, yours truly was able to cover World Series of Fighting 19. Went down on Saturday. Overall, pretty solid card, right? And of course, the biggest news of the whole card was that Matt Hamill had to pull out of his fight against Thiago Silva literally last minute. A little bit of insight here. I got to the arena about an hour before media was even supposed to check in. And I was like, fuck it, let's try it out, see if we can get in there. And yeah, we could get in. So I went over to the security desk and was like, hey, man, whatever, and got in to the arena about, I want to say like 45 minutes before the rest of the media was even allowed to get in, which goes to show you, if you ask, you shall receive. So got in there, sat on my seat, which happened to be on the very back table, but still with an awesome view. If you were on my Twitter, you saw the pictures. If you're on my Facebook, of course, you saw pictures. And so I sat down, And I heard some talking behind the curtain behind me. And the guy, this one guy was saying like, yeah, let me connect you to Matt Hamill over in urgent care. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh shit. Okay. So I kind of tweeted out of a rumor, Matt Hamill urgent care, maybe in trouble. I mean, we're talking, maybe 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half for his fight. So, I immediately thought, ooh, this guy's not going to make his fight. So maybe 15 minutes later, of course, everyone bursts out the news. I'm not saying I broke anything. I don't know if I broke anything. All I said is I mentioned it, right? So, yeah, Matt Hamill pulls out of the fight, and everything gets jacked. Everyone's got a new opponent. I mean, a lot of these guys, first of all, the reason why I don't disrespect, and I never disrespect, I do my best to not disrespect fighters, right? Any fighters. Why? Because they have the balls to get in the cage. But to get in, to prepare for a certain opponent and not get to fight that opponent is actually normal for a lot of guys in MMA. You know what I mean? But we're talking lower levels. This is professional level, so for these guys to almost all of them getting new opponents is pretty big. So what exactly happened? Matt Hamill pulled out. And so there were a few guys with new opponents. Clifford Starks took on Jake Hone, who was supposed to take on, I believe, Teddy Holder instead. Eddie Holder stepped up, took on Thiago Silva, and we'll talk about that fight in a minute because it was awesome. And the one guy that kind of got screwed out of a fight, was Eddie. I forgot his man. I hate to do this. I forgot his name completely, but I'm pulling up his name real quick. Eddie Arizmendi was not able to actually get a fight because there was no one to take his opponent's place. And so, and by the way, Eddie was pissed as fuck. All right, they had to call over a couple of guys to go talk to him because he was angry as all shit. Of course, why wouldn't you be? Now he did get his show and win money, so whatever. But to prepare, go through a training camp. Through a training camp and not be able to actually fight. Kind of sucks. So. Give me 1 second to pull something up. Yeah, so to not be able to fight really, really blows. So he was really upset. They had to send everybody, a couple people back there to go calm him down, talk to him. Again, he got paid and everything, and we got a night of fights that was actually pretty good. So kicking off the the undercard, Eric Villalobos defeated Joe Madrid. Joe Madrid came in with some hype on him, and Villalobos said, fuck that, and pretty much dominated him. Ended up winning a pretty solid decision. Madrid had nothing for him. Villalobos, who I believe was in his second pro fight ever, maybe his first pro fight ever, just dominated on the ground, kept getting takedowns, was dominating position. It was a great fight. Big win for Villalobos, I believe he's their first or second pro fight. After that, Matt Franco defeats Eric Regan via head kick knockout in the second round. Now, this is one of those fights where it's a huge mismatch, right? Regan's in there because he's tough. This dude was not quitting. Franco hit him with, first of all, Franco is a kickboxer out of Arizona Combat Sports. He actually was wearing these Muay Thai shorts that are actually in Arizona Combat Sports Muay Thai shorts. It actually says that on the front. I actually have a pair of those myself when I used to train there. So mine are blue. His were red, I believe, red and black, which I think is what the pro shorts are for that school, for that academy, whatever, for Arizona Combat. So he actually jacked him a lot with a bunch of shots. Franco, I'm talking about Franco and Regan. Regan actually threw a couple back pretty good, but I think this kid's in there, man, because of heart. Regan was in there because of heart, right? Hung in there real strong through the first round after getting hurt a lot. Had Franco in a couple bad spots on the ground, but nothing too crazy. In the second round, Franco just let him have it and ends up finishing him off via head kick. And actually, Franco had to land a few to finish Regan. So big win for the Australian here. After that, Dan Hoover defeated Israel Aquino via first round TKO. It was pretty standard. Hoover's a pretty badass dude. So after that, here's a fun one. All right, this is a fun. God damn, my nose is messed up. Here's a fun fight. Andres Ponce defeated Juan Archuleta via submission. Triangle choke in the second round. Archuleta dominated Ponce. All right, he dominated this cat in the first round, beating the crap out of him, getting takedowns, just messing him up on the ground. Archuleta made one bad, decision. I guess one bad move. He made a mistake and gets finished by Ponce in the second round via triangle choke. Ponce literally got like 5 days notice for this fight, so a big win for him. And honestly, it's got to mess with Archuleta's confidence a bit because he trained pretty hard for that one. After that, a guy that has a pretty bright future I believe, out of Power MMA, you know, the gym owned and run by Ryan Bader, Aaron Simpson, CB Dalloway, all those guys. Joe Gigliotti defeats Brendan Tierney via third-round TKO. Tierney is one of those guys out of Fight Ready in Scottsdale, and he held his own for the striking aspect. Tierney was doing pretty good. He's a taller guy. He's a reach, long legs, and everything. Gigliotti being a stronger wrestler type of guy, big beefy kid too, and he had Tierney hurt by the third round. He had nothing. Tierney had nothing for Gigliotti, and Gigliotti gets him on the ground, gets him down, and just TKOs his ass. So it was a pretty good fight. Like I said, Joe's got a bright future, especially coming out of that Power MMA school. And the last fight of the undercard, Jimmy Spikuza defeats Benny Madrid via split decision. I don't agree with that. First of all, I thought it was unanimous for Spikuza, whatever. He was if you see this guy, by the way, you can actually look at pictures of him. He looks like GSP. Like, he's built like GSP, just a little small because he's lightweight, bald and everything. And Madrid, honestly, Madrid had nothing for him. I don't see where a judge was going to give Madrid any of those rounds at all. I think Jimmy Spikuza dominated. Pretty simple. So, big win for him, and I think he's going to move up into a main card at some point soon. Kicking off the main card, Clifford Starks defeats Jake Coolin via submission arm triangle choke. This was a fun fight because both guys were letting go. They were not holding back at all. Clifford Starks is the big guy. Jake is a big guy too, but I think Clifford was bigger. So in the first round, both guys took about a minute to feel each other out. Then Starks decided to take the fight to the ground. He landed, he took the fight to the ground, landed some short shots, and the clinch pretty good. He controlled the fight the whole first round. Jake made his way to the feet, and he landed some nice body shots. But Starks got a takedown at the end of the first round, clearly winning that first round. So second round, Starks came out firing with the overhand right, but it wasn't landing very well. Now his coach, who's Trevor Lally over at Arizona Combat, kept yelling overhand, elbows, all this other stuff. And when you're in the cage, it's not like you're too busy, fighting. I'm assuming it's pretty hard to hear your coach. So finally, in the second round, starts throwing that overhand right, land a couple times, and then now here's the funny part. Okay, this is hilarious. In the second round, they both clinched at the same time. Jake and Clifford both clinched at the same time. They both threw right knees at the same time. They both landed nut shots. It was the first double nut shot I've seen ever. Right. So literally, they both hitting each other in the nuts at the exact same time, and they both drop. Like, oh, it's bad. And it was hilarious. I mean, I was laughing pretty good. And then once they came to, the fight was back on, but you could tell it was a little bit off. When you get hit in the nuts, it's hard to come back right away. So, when it came back, Starks was a little pissed off. He was landing some nice shots. He was throwing hard, but then Jake got him, took him to the ground. He took him to the ground, and he was landing shots, and then Jake throws a knee, which right to Clifford's face when Clifford was a grounded opponent, hands on the ground, and everything. So the ref took a point from that one, and then Clifford Starks gets up. He's pissed off, and he takes he takes Jake Hoon to the ground and ends up finishing him via arm triangle choke. Great win for Clifford Starks. He's doing the belt thing afterwards and everything. He wants that shot. I think he's normally he's a 185er, as I think what he was saying, and he fought a light heavyweight on this one, so it's pretty big win for him, especially getting a last second replacement for an. All right. After that, we have Timur Valiev defeating Ed West via TKO in the first round. This Timur Valiev kid is aggressive as fuck. Coming out of that Jackson's MMA camp, you would think he'd be conservative. Hell no. First of all, Ed West was not supposed to be there. There's no way. All right, he had nothing for Timur Valiev. Valiev came out super aggressive. He was landing combo after combo. West could only respond with single shots, single leg kicks. And stuff like that. And then Valiev landed a nasty right hand that put West on his ass real bad, and then just got on top of him and was landing just heavy strikes via TKO, sitting, maybe 30 feet away from the cage, probably less than that. But you could hear the shots landing, and West got his ass kicked pretty bad. And, big win for Valiev, of course. All right. After that, we got Teddy Holder against Thiago Silva. Again, another last-second replacement because Matt Hamill got sick. Both these guys came out throwing bombs, but Silva was winning the end of the exchanges. You're landing, because here's the thing. Teddy Holder was kind of rigid. He was not rigid. He was kind of stiff. right? He's kind of, rock'em sock'em type of movements. Thiago Silva, very smooth as he usually is, just pop, bouncing around, landing good shots, landing good combos, lands a nice right to the chin on the Teddy pretty early on. And Teddy got rocked hard, right? He's falling backwards a little bit. Then he, kind of catches his bounce, comes back, just throwing bombs, anything he had as hard as he could, and lands one on the chin on Silva. Silva drops and gets TKO'd. Big whip for Holder. He gets to fight for a title now. World Series fighting a light heavyweight title, and I'm gonna try and get an interview with Mr. Holder to talk to him about that fight because it was wild fight. Talk about going from fighting, I forgot who was supposed to fight. I'm gonna be honest, but fighting somebody else and you get Thiago fucking Silva, all right, and winning that fight was great. And then of course in the title fight, the main card fight, Justin Gaethje defeats Luis Polamino. Wow, I messed up. Polamino via TKO in Palomino. Wow, I'm out of it. Via TKO in the third round. This could easily be the leader for fight of the year this year. All right, so far. Okay. These two brought everything they had and more. And I'll read exactly what I wrote in the results page because it's the only way I could describe it. All right. Instead of describing what happened by round, suffice to say that it was violent poetry. Gaethje came out very confident, using very unique strikes, not putting his hands up, taking whatever Palomino could throw at him. Then Gaethje got hurt. Palomino caught him. At the end of the round, and Gaethje came out in the second round looking really, really worn out, which gave Palomino plenty of life. And so then third round they're going back and forth. Both guys are exhausted. Both guys are bleeding. We're talking like Gaethje would throw a right, land, and just step back, put his arm. His hands couldn't just go up anymore. And Palomino would come back and land his own hard shots. Both guys hurt each other. It was a violent fight. By the time they're in the third round and near the end of the third round, they're both exhausted. So, in the third round, it was just such a wild fight. Just remembering it's kind of reminding me of how crazy it was. Back and forth they went. Both fighters bleeding, both exhausted, both knowing that there's one punch away from winning this fight. And for Palomino, everything was just a punch away. Everything he wanted was just a punch away. And for Gaethje, his title reign could end or continue on one punch. In the third round, it all came to an end as Gaethje landed a leg kick that just dropped Palomino to the ground, and Gaethje finished him via strikes. Here's the thing. Here's what I believe. All right, Gaethje came out way confident, which is great. You're at home. You're at home state. When they said from Stafford, Arizona, Gaethje put his arms up like that, and the crowd exploded. It was great. There was a little contingent, little tiny section of Palomino fans from Miami, but they were not nowhere near as loud as the rest of the crowd. So here's the thing about it. You got to wonder how many wars Gaethje can go through. He just went through one not too long ago, and you got to wonder how many wars can go through, striking wars like that without getting, first of all, permanent health damage, headshots, all that stuff he was taking, we know that strikers are not very durable when they try to have like long careers and all that. They're not the most durable guys. You don't want to end up like and I hate to say this, you don't want to end up like a Lieben, like a Chuck Liddell, where at the end of your career, just one shot, you go to sleep quick when you used to be able to take any shot you wanted or any shot that they send at you. Gaethje's a really good wrestler. All right, he just doesn't want to use it. I think I read somewhere where he said something about he's doesn't like to wrestle because the fans don't like it. They think it's boring or whatever. I couldn't disagree more. I like wrestling when wrestlers actually try to improve the positions, right? They're not just laying on top of guys. And so I'm hoping Gaethje starts using his wrestling a lot more. It's not going to be boring if you're just trying to improve your position, right? As long as he doesn't just lay on guys, it's going to be fine. But you got to wonder how many more big fight, how many more wars he can go through before it ends his career. And then of course the talk on Twitter is you're always wondering when guys are going to go to the UFC. I think Gaethje should go. I think he should drop to 145. I don't think he should stay at 155. I think most of the guys at 155 in the UFC could destroy him. Not destroy him, but they would not look. They're not gonna take his strikes and just fall back and whatever and come back at him. the guys at 155 in the UFC are some nasty, very versatile dudes. You don't think Nate Diaz would hurt him? You don't think Anthony Pettis would destroy him? RDA, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, he's wearing religious joke, I guess. Anyway, so Gaethje, if he goes to the UFC and everything, it'd be great. I just want to see him at 145 so he has a better shot at people. But whoa, I'm getting all right. So we get tweets here. Hang on a second. Sorry, I'm responding to people as we go. All right. So what we that kind of threw me off. Let me send out. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about other things here. Let's talk about drug testing. All right. So as we heard last week, UFC 184 drug test came back clean. And of course, I mean, how are they not? The guys on the ladies and guys on that card are pretty standard people. Now, where the whole thing I kept saying the whole time once I heard that was, please 185 come back clean. Please RDA come back clean. Please come back clean. And thank you, Almighty, that came back clean. All right. Everyone at UFC 185, all I believe 24 fighters came back clean. Yeah, Pettis, RDA, everybody. So one less excuse for Pettis, I guess fans. It's when you saw Pettis fight before, he looked really unstoppable. He looked like a guy that was way too versatile to lose. And RDA, let's be honest, starting his career started pretty crappy in the UFC, and now he and I'll read that tweet in a second, Andrew. And now he showed that his striking is up to par. His jiu-jitsu has always been there, and yeah, so. And this is a nice fun one, that little fun comment on my friend Aaron Robbins over from Standing Bang Radio. If you don't know, on Tuesday nights we do this show called Keyboard Warriors. It's a very to where this is the Bad Decisions is a show where I say whatever I want. My opinions are however I want. Keyboard Warriors is exactly what it sounds like. We always complain about Keyboard Warriors being balls out, saying a bunch of shit about fighters, whatever. That's what it is, and so we're not trying to disrespect anybody, but we're being super real and raw, and there's no censorship. I'll say a couple customers on here and on 5 rounds once in a while. On that one, it gets crazy, so it's definitely not safe for work. But tune in tomorrow night. It should be on tomorrow night. I gotta talk to my boys. But Aaron Robbins, I forgot who described this way, but this is how we're gonna describe boring wrestlers from now on. He says, I forgot who he called this, but he's coined a term, and Andrew Reed is now using it all the time. At Revelation 137 on Twitter, make sure you follow him. The term for boring wrestlers are level 9,000 turtle fucker. Level 9,000 turtle fucker. It might be the best way to describe boring fighters that I've ever seen. So anyway, tune in to Keyboard Warriors tomorrow night, definitely, and make sure you hang out with us, because Aaron Robbins and also Fred Kirby's on there from Gem City Fighting and Standing Bang Radio. And those two guys, they're my brothers, man. Those guys are awesome. So, all right, let's talk Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 31. Talk about look, I haven't watched wrestling continuously since The Rock retired. I used to be a huge Rock fan. The Rock fan, whatever. When he used to come to Phoenix, I would make a point to go to the events, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, whatever he was coming to. But I was like, 10, maybe 9? I would talk my dad into taking me. And so now, here's what we talk about all the time, is the mix between MMA and, professional wrestling. Now, there's something called that people call the MMA purist, right? And look, everyone's got to, everyone is entitled to their opinion. It's great. Go for it. I don't hate on MMA purists. I don't hate on pro wrestling fans unless they, they shit talk me, and then it's more fun for me to, go back at them. But to think that there's no connection between MMA and professional wrestling, is to not recognize that we've gotten some guys from pro wrestling and they've gotten some guys from MMA. Let's talk about MMA fighters became pro wrestlers. Shamrock. There's the what's his name? Dude, I can't remember his name. One of the guys used to work train at AKA is his name will come up in a little bit, but he's talking about he's going to get a WWE development deal. Of course, Brock Lesnar coming from WWE and then going back. CM Punk is signing with the UFC now. Phil Brooks coming from WWE now with the UFC. And I watched WrestleMania 31. with my nephew, because for some reason he likes seeing that kind of stuff. And look, he's only 3 years old, but still, he just likes seeing stuff. So, you know, we're sitting there, we're watching it, whatever. We watched the entire show, and then at one point, and this is how long it's been since I watched wrestling like continuously. I recognize The Rock, Stephanie McMahon, she has giant boobs, and Triple H minus the ponytail. I used to have long hair. I guess he cut it. So Stephanie McMahon and Triple H get in the ring, and again, people are gonna hate me for talking wrestling sometimes, but whatever. You know, they're in there, and then The Rock comes out because, you know, Stephanie McMahon and Triple H are talking about they're the ones that get all the credit for wrestling, for WWE being where it's at. So they're in there, whatever, talking. The Rock comes out like he usually does. You know, he's by the way, he's hilarious. So he comes out saying all this stuff, and then Stephanie McMahon gets in his face, slaps him, and tells him to get out of a ring. So The Rock's not gonna hit a woman, right? And so he gets out of the ring, but instead of walking up the ramp, he comes around to the crowd, the front row. Guess who is there? The 4 horsewomen. Of course, their leader, none other than the undefeated UFC bantamweight champion, Ronda Rousey. So The Rock standing next to her, you know, standing in front of her, and you know what's coming. The whole crowd, by the way, I give pro wrestling crowds a lot of credit for knowing who she is. They start chanting Ronda Rousey and clapping on it, Ronda Rousey over and over again. And The Rock puts out his hand like this. And Ronda, instead of taking his hand and hopping over, she hops over on her own. So Ronda Rousey and The Rock walking to the ring. And the moment was tense. It was huge. It broke the freaking internet in a heartbeat. Ronda Rousey being in a WWE ring in front of Stephanie McMahon. And so The Rock says something to the effect of, I'm not going to hit a woman, but she likes to, or she has no problem doing it, whatever, pointing to Ronda Rousey. So at this point, I'm sitting here going, there's no way to let it wrestle. This is not going to happen. You know, Dana White would never, you know, risk Ronda Rousey get hurt in a ring, in wrestling. So The Rock, you know, they go back and forth, and Stephanie starts yelling at Ronda. Ronda takes a microphone from The Rock and says, any ring I step into is my ring, and if you want to kick me out, why don't you make me, whatever. He gives the microphone back to The Rock. Triple H comes in and starts saying, like, I'm sick of this, whatever. I don't want to hear no more talking. The Rock says, you know what, you're right. I'm not going to say anything anymore. Drops the microphone, starts, you know, beating the crap out of Triple H. And Triple H falls backwards. Forgot what The Rock did. He hits him, and Triple H stumbles forward, and Ronda Rousey judo tosses his ass, which is, to me, it was awesome, right? So judo tosses him, and then gets Stephanie McMahon in an arm lock, throws her out of the ring. So, and then of course the whole, you know, everyone's all cheering for Ronda and The Rock or whatever. So here's what I think about it, okay? And a lot of MMA purists are going to be hating on it, and look, it's entertainment, okay? They're not really fighting in there. It's theater. It's soap opera for grown men. And if you like that kind of thing, hey, go for it. Some people like watching. Look, I don't think it's any different. And people are gonna, again, relax. I don't think it's any different than watching The Walking Dead. I don't think it's any different than watching some TV show where it's fake. No one got shot in Sopranos, and the real, you know, no one actually got shot in Sopranos. There's no real fucking zombies unless you're in Miami and you're dealing with assholes on bath salts. But still, or not bath salts, but you know, that fucking drugs and all that. So, you know, it's no different than that. It's entertainment. It's a show. It's theater. They're putting on a drama for you. Is using their bodies, and yeah, sure, it should mostly be for kids. But a lot of people, you know, they need that distraction from their real life. They need a distraction from not being as inspired in their own lives. It's just what it is. And for other people, it's just entertainment. It's just something to watch. You know, and you got, of course, you got the hardcore fans like DC. Daniel Cormier was there, and there's pictures of him almost crying when what's his name? SR Seth Rollins, when Seth Rollins came in and won the title or whatever he did. So you know, so there's definitely a mix. Now here's what I think Ronda Rousey made WrestleMania. I think Ronda Rousey coming in made that show what it was. I don't think that show would have been as big had Ronda Rousey not been there. Why? Because the second that Ronda Rousey was on there and the Twitter exploded with it, people went in and started watching it. Okay, I guarantee you, if someone pulls out the stats of people tuning into WrestleMania on their WWE network, which by the way I only buy when the WrestleMania is on, then I cancel it right away. Like it's already canceled now. I could watch it until the end of the month or whatever, and then you know it's not going to repay it. So you know I'm not going to watch anything else on the next WrestleMania, I guess, unless they say Ronda Rousey coming back for something else, then I'm going to actually watch. But anyway, okay, they pull out the stats of who started watching WrestleMania from the very beginning. And then from when Twitter exploded, guaranteed the numbers are just skyrocketed because Ronda Rousey's on there, right? So people say, no, Dana White's going to be pissed. No, he actually tweeted out a picture of himself watching WrestleMania with Ronda Rousey on it. He was loving it. So, and again, and I should say this for Keyboard Warriors. I really should, but I'm not going to. Of course, I was on Twitter the whole time, you know, on my phone and all that. And I do follow this certain journalist and shit. And he was, you know, fucking, I'll say, Helwani was bitching about how, you know, MMA purists are going to be so upset about it and they need to just deal with it, whatever. First of all, the fact that you're that sensitive to actually acknowledge MMA purists that you actually hate, I guess you hate, you seem like you hate, you need to chill the fuck out, okay? And then MMA purists, relax, okay? I understand you don't like people talking about pro wrestling and mixing it with MMA and all that shit. Unfortunately, it is, not unfortunately, the matter of fact is that wrestling, pro wrestling, and MMA are sports that are not the same. They're not even entangled. You can't even say they're like this, but there's a connection there. Okay, the very basic connection that people tune in to watch a fight. Okay, the next level of connection is that you have people coming in back and forth on sports and sports. So, you know, it's a fact you have to accept, right? The connection between MMA and pro wrestling, absolutely. So. It's just kind of what it is at this point. Anyway, so Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania, huge for the WWE, just as big as for UFC. I mean, you know, everyone became people on Twitter. If you go on Twitter and you type in Ronda Rousey, probably even now, if you scroll down to the tweets during WrestleMania, a lot of people were like, "I'm a Ronda Rousey fan now." I mean, imagine all those people tuning in for the next pay-per-view. You never know. I mean, it happened with Brock, you know, so who knows? Anyway, so that's Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 31. It was I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the show, and so I will probably tune in next year for the next WrestleMania. I think that one's in Texas. So if they ever come back to Arizona, depending on who's on it, I might go. This is a nostalgia thing, but I'm still not going to be that kind of guy that watches it every single day or every single show. By the way, shout out to my friend. His Twitter is at Astoria, Astora, Sean, SEAN. Sorry, SEAN. He's my go-to guy to ask wrestling questions, which I was picking his brain the entire time. So thank you, Sean, for helping me out on that. Anyway, so let's talk about Brendan Schaub moving to 205. About damn time. Can I say that? About damn time? Yeah. He was not going to get anyone in the heavyweight division. He was going to lose to anybody in the top 5 for sure. He was bullshitting, talking about he wanted to fight Brock Lesnar. Get out of here, man. Brock Lesnar was laughing at you. But the move to 205, I think it's smart for Brendan Schaub if he improves his striking. We know his wrestling is there-ish. We know jiu-jitsu is top-notch. Okay? His striking's not there. In the heavyweight division, if you can't strike, Brock Lesnar, if you can't strike, you're going to lose to guys like Cain Velasquez. You're going to lose to guys like JDS. You're going to lose to guys like even Alistair Overeem. You know? So, in my opinion, I agree with Joe Rogan, who brought him on his podcast and tore him down and built him back up later on. Joe Rogan said that maybe he should take a year off and improve his striking. Maybe go to Duke Rufus. Maybe go to Dwayne Ludwig from formerly from Alpha Male, now from Colorado. You know, it's if he improves his striking, he can do some damage to 205. He's not going to be John Jones. Let's be honest about that. Okay, he's not going to beat an Anthony Johnson, but you know, maybe and I hate to say this, Ryan Bader, you know, it can make a good fight out of it. Maybe a Phil Davis with the jiu-jitsu and all that. So, you know, Brendan Schaub moving to 205 is it's good. It's important for his career for sure. And Andrew Reed reminds me, again, Keyboard Warriors, if you want to see some funny shit, make sure to tune in to Keyboard Warriors tomorrow night. Aaron Robinson's thing where he goes, all about to the Honorable Helwani. Okay. If you want to know the I'll tell you the backstory real quick. Aaron Robbins and Helwani kind of went back and forth. I think Helwani said something about, he tweeted out something about it's ridiculous that something or other. And Aaron replied with, how about a grown man saying ridiculous? That's atrocious. And then he went on to say some other shit. And the fact that he said a grown man saying ridiculous is atrocious, Helwani replied to him saying, just like Stand and Bang Radio, right? You know, and immediately we picked up on it that Helwani is a bit of a sensitive little, you know, girl, dude, whatever. In fact, girls aren't even as sensitive as this guy. I'll just say that. So he got upset, whatever, and so now Robbins being the guy that he is. he went ahead and decided to kind of make fun of him by saying, now he's gonna grovel at his feet, whatever, say, all bow to the honorable Helwani. And so now we're all kind of doing it, and it's hilarious. Niggas reminding me of that, Andrew. Anyway, so I'm totally out of it now. A couple other things here, as I know it's a short show, I apologize, but the allergies are killing me. A couple more things here. There's one that I forgot, and Mr. Andrew Reed just reminded me. There is a new. Okay, first of all, let's talk about real quick the last time that Gustafsson fought against Anthony Johnson at home. Man, did that break my heart, man. That killed me. Watching that was hard to see. And, he fought a striker. I mean, look, Gustafsson went on, I forgot what show he went on, and said, Rumble Johnson hits harder than John Jones. Completely agree. If you saw, John Jones wasn't able to hurt Gustafsson. And so Anthony Johnson definitely knocked him out and put him away. So finally get to see the Mauler back in the cage. He's going to take on Glover Teixeira, headlining UFC Fight Night in Berlin. I believe both guys are coming off losses, if I'm correct. So Gustafsson is 28. He's coming off of his first round TKO loss against Anthony Johnson at home, unfortunately. And I think Teixeira is coming off a decision and loss to Phil Davis. So he was supposed to fight Rashad Evans in February, but I forgot who pulled that. I think Rashad pulled that new injury. I don't even know why that guy's fighting anymore, but regardless. So this fight's going to go down in Berlin, June 20th. If you're in Europe and you're able to make it, that should be a pretty good fight. Gustafsson, look, we know what Gustafsson brings to the table. The guy's tall, reach, crazy, all heart too. And Teixeira, of course, with the bombs, throwing bombs. And it was funny that people thought that Teixeira would be able to defeat John Jones. Anyone that understands, MMA knows that Teixeira is really one dimension, unfortunately. And John Jones is a freak, just overall freak. So we knew that, there was no way Teixeira was going to beat him. But you got to hype up your stars, right? So that's kind of what it is. And then other things I want to talk about before we get to the mini rant. Aldo McGregor. Check this out. First of all, Aldo McGregor is possibly some of the best promotion that we've seen since Chael Sonnen. McGregor is saying all kinds of shit. The thing I heard today, he said that they were doing a face-off. Forgot where they were doing it. I believe somewhere in Europe. And McGregor looks at Dana and says, "Can you back up so I can get closer to Aldo so I can smell his pussy?" I fell over laughing. Okay. He wants to smell all those pussies. Jesus. I mean, the kind of stuff McGregor's saying, you hope that he actually backs it up in the cage. Okay. And I was talking this today with one of the writers of CrossBonesMMA, Mr. Jesse Rubalcaba. You can follow him at SPWAT 1983, I think is what it is. He made a point, or I said that we've seen a lot of Taekwondo karate guys, lose to, guys that train in Muay Thai. I think Weidman trained in Muay Thai. He beat the crap out of Machida. I believe he beat the crap out of Machida. Jesse doesn't. But, we've seen a lot of karate guys lose to Muay Thai guys and strikers like that. So, Aldo defeat McGregor. Some people have already come out and said some stuff like Chael Sonnen said that Aldo's going to destroy him. Not destroy him, he's going to beat him. A lot of other fighters believe Aldo's going to take it. And you can't take McGregor out of it, but of course you can't take McGregor out of it. I think Aldo's too crazy. He's not going to run through McGregor, but he's definitely going to beat him. All right, and Dennis Bermudez taking on Jeremy Stevens at UFC 189 in Las Vegas on July 11th. That's a fun fight right there. I haven't seen Bermudez in a minute. I apologize for my sniffling. The allergies are killing me. Okay, last thing I want to talk about before we move on to the rant is Betch Correia is getting death threats after a street fight. Come on, people. Look, I understand Brazil's crazy, but still, the death threats are ridiculous. So, anyway, so I'm going to read this actually from an article from MMAfighting.com. Make sure you go there and click on their article, give them a view or something. Anyway, so I'll read this straight out. Quote, 2 days after the announcement of her title fight with Ronda Rousey at UFC 190, Brazilian bantamweight Betch Correia was involved in a street fight in Rio de Janeiro. Correia was with her boyfriend, Edelson Silva, who is also one of Anderson Silva's boxing coaches, and her sister, Susana Correia, at a hotel in Rio. and they asked for a taxi to go out for dinner, but decided to eat at a restaurant across the street as soon as the taxi arrived. The taxi driver, whose name is Leonardo de Freitas Alves, wanted to charge them anyway, and that's when everything started. According to Correa, Alves threatened to grab a gun in the glove compartment and got into a fight with Edelson Silva. A video footage also shows Alves throwing a trash can at Silva, who tried to punch him several times. The taxi driver called the police, and they called Correa's room looking for Silva, but also decided to take her to the police station. Correa says that they only took her after they found out she's a UFC fighter. And quote, he wanted us to pay him 5 reais, approximately $2, and I gave him 7. But he kept asking Edelson for more money, saying we wasted his time. Correa told MMA.com, quote, started to argue, and Edelson told him to fuck off, and that's when the taxi driver left the car and started to fight with Edelson. They started to fight, to punch each other. My sister and I didn't do anything. Alves said he would grab a gun in the glove compartment. And when he said that, my sister went after him, but I pulled her away. I could have used all my martial art knowledge to stop him, but I didn't want to fight. I was calm, but he was threatening us. The taxi driver didn't even recognize me. When the police showed up, they wanted to take Edelson with them, but the hotel receptionist said, that fighter over was also involved. So they called my room and asked for me to go with them. The taxi driver didn't recognize me, but now he wants to use this to become famous. Edelson was just protecting us. This is bullshit. What would you do if a man says he's grabbing a gun to threaten your family? Edelson was protecting us. So, excuse me. So that's kind of like the thing with Beto Correa there. First of all, let me tell you this: if you are going to threaten anybody, saying they're gonna pull a gun on and everything, expect to get the shit kicked out of you, and expect to possibly get killed. Don't threaten people. Right? One of the top rules for owning a gun is if you're gonna pull it out, be ready to use it. Okay, don't even talk about pulling it out, because the second you pull it, you even talk about pulling a gun on somebody, they're gonna want to kill you. This is kind of the nature of the beast. So, and the death threats on Correa, really, I mean, come on, get over yourselves, people. So that's that story right there, and wow, allergies. Anyway, by the way, thanks to anyone that contacted me about allergy medicine. I took everyone's suggestions, and I'm actually on like 2 different medicines right now. That's how bad my allergies are right now. So it actually helped. So throughout the whole day, I was fine, like I said, until I went running a little while ago. I ran like 3.1 miles, whatever, 5K is, and now I'm sniffing like a maniac. Anyway, all right, today's rant is a little different. Okay. If you follow me on Twitter, you saw what I tweeted this morning. Actually, I want to make sure that I'm reading it directly. I don't want to, mince words here. What I said this morning was, wow, I can't even find it now. Here it is. Okay, so this is what I tweeted out this morning. I said, quote, Indiana and states like it will find themselves as the shit stains on history's underwear and regarded as such by their own children, end quote. Now, what am I talking about? The state of Indiana in the U.S. has passed a law that allows people to discriminate against others using their religious freedom, whatever they want to call it, right? And the law is basically to refuse service to gay people, homosexuals, whatever you want to call them. And here's the thing. So I tweeted that out, and a couple of people tweeted back at me, and I really appreciate the response, right? One of the guys that I talked to a lot on there, he's a really, really good dude. We had a discussion about it. So, it's cool, whatever. He was a very respectful guy. He gave his point of view. I gave mine, and it was cool. It was just a discussion. But when I talk about certain things, when it comes to politics, especially in social issues, I always look at it from the historic point of view, right? What is history going to say about this moment in the next 30 years, in the next 40 years? I'll give you an example. Segregation. All right. When they desegregated the South, oh my God, did that place blow up? And I mean, look, I obviously wasn't alive then, but you read history books, you watch films and all that. There was a lot of hate. There was a lot of pushback in the South against, segregation or against desegregating anything. They thought that keeping everything separate was great. They didn't want to mix the races. All right. If you saw the video of the schools in Little Rock, Arkansas, a lot of people in there with signs, is really disrespectful shit. And, fast forward to today, we couldn't imagine that happening. We couldn't imagine African Americans or minorities not having a vote. You couldn't imagine women not having a vote. That right now in this day and age sounds insane. Okay, it sounds ridiculous. Okay, so we look back at, you know, to those times, and you literally, the first thought, not anyone, but at least I do, I was like, what the fuck were they thinking? Right? Is how are you going to discriminate against somebody because of the skin color? So fast forward to today. Okay, this Indiana governor wants, you know, signs his bills into law, saying that people can use the religion, you know, they could cite religion as a reason to refuse service or refuse whatever they want to whoever, right? But it's clearly against, you know, gay people. So here's the thing. When it comes, I don't side with any political affiliation. Okay, I don't have one. All right, people ask me, well, are you know, Democrat? Are you Republican? I'm like, I'm in the middle, man. I always say this. Fiscally, I'm conservative. You know, not Republican, but I'm conservative. Socially, I'm pretty liberal, right? So I think the best way to go is to accept people, right? Don't bash people. Don't hate on people because you believe something, and you know, they don't fit to whatever, you know, they're like the square peg to your round hole. That sounds horrible, but to your round hole of whatever your views are, right? So my point in that tweet was basically, what is the future going to think of us today? Because what we do today shapes the future, of course, right? But we're going to be judged by the future. We're absolutely going to be judged by our future. At some point, people that make decisions today are going to have to explain to their kids why they did something, right? And I believe that the people that are trying their best to just bash on gay people and pass laws or whatever to you know, discriminate against them, first of all, they're wrong, okay? But also, they're going to be those people that are going to have to explain themselves. Their children are going to ask them, hey, you know, why did people hate on gays or whatever? Or, you know, why did you hate on gays or whatever? And it's sad, man. Like, it really sucks. And I know I come from a religious background. You know, I grew up Catholic and, you know, no longer go to church because, you know, whatever reasons. And so I understand why people hate on gay people. It doesn't make sense to me. I understand why they do it, though. A lot of it is fear. A lot of it is because for some reason, you know, they think the Bible tells them they can hate on anybody because they don't believe what they do. And it's incredibly ridiculous, I think. So my point in that tweet, like I said, was the historic point of view is, what is history going to say about us passing a ridiculous law like this, at least in Indiana? So now Indiana's under fire. NFL saying they're going to pull, you know, they're going to pull the NFL Combine. They're going to pull any kind of NFL stuff. And if you remember, Arizona took forever to give Martin Luther King his own holiday, right? To make Martin Luther King a state holiday, I guess, federal holiday, to accept it. And they didn't accept it until the NFL said, hey, we're going to pull Super Bowl last second. And they were about to pull Super Bowl from Arizona back in the day. And then Arizona was like, okay, fine. MLK has his day. Fine. It's sad as fuck that's what it takes. It's incredibly discouraging that it takes the NFL saying something about, oh, we're going to take away money from you. We're going to, you know, hurt your economy by not bringing our sport to your state. You know, it just sucks that it can't just be, people just can't be good to each other. They just can't. And it's discouraging, it's depressing, and it makes me not want to have kids. Because why would you want to raise kids in this, you know, in this kind of environment where, you know, because a book that's 5,000 plus years old, whatever it is, that's been translated over and over and over and over again, that has multiple people writing in it. It's sad that people will use that book to discriminate on others. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you can't have your beliefs. Absolutely have your beliefs. If you want to hate gay people, fine. Okay, go for it. But to actually discriminate against them and try to use legislation and the law as a way to put them down is incredibly sad, is really discouraging. It's wrong, okay? And I really, really hope that we find a way to turn this thing around before it's too late, so we don't have to, you know, be embarrassed about what we've done in this day and age, in this generation. To, you know, I mean, you know, why hate on anybody? You know, why does it bother you if someone's gay? Let them be gay. They're not hurting you. I have gay friends, and they come to fight, and I have fight fans that have come to. I have friends that are fight fans, okay, that have come to fight night that are gay. And we say some fucked up shit in my group, right? We say some stuff, and that's because we're really good friends. But there's an understanding, right? So, you know, it's I don't want to have to explain to my kids later on why certain people in our society hate others because of something they can't control. You know what I mean? So that's my little rant for today. I'm sorry it's not MMA related. Yeah, I know some people were looking forward to some rant about refs or whatever, or possibly Dana White telling a reporter to sit down and shut the fuck up. Hell, fuck it, let's do a part B. Dana White telling a reporter to sit down and shut the fuck up was entertaining to me, okay, but also not surprising whatsoever. He, if you don't know, a reporter, I forgot exactly which press conference it was one of the Aldo McGregor ones in the UK, I believe. I think it was the UK. I'm not sure, not 100%. Andrew Reid, if you know, correct me on that. But a reporter asked Jose Aldo in front of Dana White if he was upset about his pay and if he was considering joining that lawsuit. I think it might have been in Vegas. I'm not sure. Wherever that was, holy shit. Dana White's face dropped, and he told the reporter to sit down and shut up. First of all, as a journalist, why you would ask that question when the person that's getting sued is right next to them it's laughable. Okay, why don't you wait till you're one-on-one with that fighter? I would have waited till I had a one-on-one interview with Jose to ask him that. It was super awkward for Aldo. It was super awkward for Dana White. It was even more awkward for the reporter when he got told to sit down and shut up. And Dana White, look, people want to call Dana White unprofessional for reacting the way he did. Look, man, if you got to be on your toes for that kind of stuff, and if you're gonna ask that kind of question, you got to be ready for that kind of answer. So I mean, the reason that Dana White no longer does media scrums is because he's gotten in so much trouble for the shit that he said to the media, and so now you don't get no more Dana White media scrums anymore because of some of the shit that he said. So. That was a messed up moment, but I think journalists need to know when to ask, right? If it's an important issue and you know for sure you're not going to get an answer in a one-on-one interview or a different venue, go for it. Go ahead and ask that question, but be prepared for the consequences. At the same time, some journalists need to pull their heads out of their asses. Let's be real, right? But the way Dana White reacted he could have done it with a little more charisma, not charisma, but a little more tact, right? But he did. That's just Dana White. You can't hate on him too much, and if you do, I mean, this is your opinion anyway. So in order to give my allergies a little bit of I'm gonna start going to battle those motherfuckers. We're gonna go ahead and end the show right here. That's gonna do it for Bad Decisions. Thanks for joining me tonight. Definitely thank you for putting up with the allergies and the first part of the rant. So remember that Bad Decisions is now on Monday nights, regardless of what the song says. If you listen to us on iTunes, of course, we'll get that changed sometime, hopefully, but I like the song anyway. Anyway, make sure to follow me at Elaw31 and at CrossBonesMMA. Like the fan page on Facebook at facebook.com/CrossBonesMMA. Make sure you go to the website for your MMA news. Also, a big shout out to a friend of Crossbones, the good guys over at FightBookMMA.com. Check the site out. If you're listening to this on iTunes or on Stitcher, intro music was by T. Fowler. Check his stuff out. Dude's awesome. And also, Stand and Bang Radio just came out with a new episode with Mr. Rich Franklin. My boys over, Aaron Robbins and Fred Kirby, sorry. He talked to Rich Franklin. It was a great episode. Make sure you check that out. Go to iTunes. And first of all, iTunes and search CrossBones MMA, subscribe. And then go to Stand and Bang Radio and subscribe to that. They have a lot of good fighters on there that they talk to, so it's always great to have them on there. And of course, they come on to Keyboard Warriors tomorrow night, so make sure you tune in for that. All the shows on CrossBonesMMA Radio Network are available on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Stitcher for free, so subscribe and download. Get all that content automatically on there. You can also download all of the shows like 5 Rounds, Bad Decisions, of course, Keyboard Warriors, the awards show or the month award shows, whatever. A couple more coming up. Maybe one in Spanish. We'll see. It's a little rough to do that one. I'm fluent, but it's hard to find someone that's super knowledgeable in MMA that's fluent in Spanish as well. So, and of course, if you don't speak Spanish, you're not going to be interested. So, anyway, come back next week for another episode of Bad Decisions with Eddie Law. For all of us at CrossBonesMMA.com and CrossBonesMMA Radio, I am Eddie Law saying see you next week. We're one day closer to death. Make it count. And talk to you later, Andrew.